1, 2, is this on?
Five-star off, God fast, this more than a podcast. This 5-star business, baby, we at the top class. Going strong every week, these suckers very weak. Undertaker tombstone, now prepare to meet. You know what it is, tune in to hear the best news. The 5-star podcast featuring SQ. Ask around, baby, we the hottest show in town. Like Jock and no sis, going down.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy DJ Carolina X from the 5-Star Podcast, and I have a very special guest with me today. He is the host of the Ring the Bell podcast and also the host of the inaugural Diva Mania that's going to happen Friday, April 18th at Gypsy, Las Vegas. Also, we have special guests by Barbie Blank, formerly known as Kelly Kelly. We have the incomparable Gail Kim and Vix Crow, also known as Alicia Fox. Tickets is available right now at ringthebell.eventbrite.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmy Award winner DS Shin. How's it going, DS?
Yes, thank you for having me. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. It is an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Just like I started before we started the recording, my wife is a huge fan of you, and she's gonna be excited as soon as I bring her on when it comes down to it. How's your day going so far?
It's going good. You know, so I feel like some of the Ring the Bell fans might not know this, but I have a full-time job. That's where this Emmy came from. I didn't win this from Ring the Bell. So I have a full-time job, 9 to 5. So I got back from work, you know. But yeah, after that, I am doing my Ring the Bell work. So it's basically a 2-job situation.
Absolutely. You can never have too many jobs, especially in the wrestling industry.
Right.
You can see Michael Cole. Michael Cole's a wrestler. He's a commentator. He does it all. He does it all. So what I'm going to do, DS, I'm going to place you back in the backstage. I'm going to bring them in. They can't see you while you're in backstage, but they're going to be extremely excited to see you when we're going to get this interview going. Are you excited?
All right, let's do it.
I stole my avatar.
I said, "Hey, Lay." I don't know how that happened, but when I kept testing it out earlier, I was like, "Why does this keep coming up? I don't like this man."
It's all good.
I was like, "Why does this keep coming up? I don't like this man at all." What's the
all good. But yeah, we're just gonna make it short and quick. 3 things I'm gonna go over before we start the actual video of what we're gonna do with the video today. First thing, we're gonna go over the name of the video is gonna be the top women's wrestlers of all time, past, present, and future. And with this video that we have is gonna give an in-depth breakdown of each wrestler that's gonna be named. Second thing, I also want to mention interview that John Moxley did, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, that he did back in 2018 or recently. He emphasized on the impact of shock value or a cheap pop, so to say. So it was this time that Seth Rollins was dealing with a feud with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. And, you know, Dolph Ziggler and Drew kept beating him down. So Seth had this idea of bringing Dean Ambrose back. Dean Ambrose didn't like the fact that he was brought back in a capacity as far as a cheap pop, because the way that they did it is that Seth Rollins announced his nickname, People Pop. Next thing that happened, his music came out, people pop. And last thing, he walked out and people kind of low-key pop. So it was kind of like a fatigue type of thing. You get what I'm saying? So I always took that philosophy of like, I don't like to do like, you know, build-ups as far as anticipation with shot factors and everything. I go for the juggler. Which leads me to my third thing. I lied. We're not doing no reaction video today. Please welcome my special guest today, Mr. DS. Emmy Award winner, the host of the Ring the Bell podcast, and the host of the inaugural Diva Mania. Once again, Friday, April 18th.
X, what were you saying about men's? I was like, what is he talking about? Men's wrestling? Like Seth Rollins? What? I was like dozing off. I love it. You have Divas champion belt there.
Yes, yes, twins.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
are huge
god.
fans. They're huge fans of you, man. So definitely is an honor to have you on our podcast. When it comes
Yes,
down to it, like they
Yes.
watch your videos 24/7, especially this one down here.
yes.
Hi.
Yes. Yes, I am
Nice
such
to
a
meet
fan of
you.
you and your team. You guys are amazing. Seriously, I'm such a huge fan. This is an honor. Seriously. I
Thank
don't know
you
what to
so
say.
much.
Like, I'm in shock.
Oh my god, that
Actually,
was
you
the
got
best
us
thing
really
ever.
good.
You did. You did.
You got us really good.
He got me. I was
Hey,
like, what is he talking about? Are we talking about men's wrestling today? I'm like, I
So,
am not ready for that.
I was about to say, I remember that. I was like, yeah, I remember that. But that was like
Do you?
6 years ago.
so
I was
he
like,
got
okay, so
all of us basically.
I got
yeah.
everybody. I got everyone. I got everyone. Yeah, Lay, Sylvia, look at your text messages. I copied and paste your questions that you wrote to me. I knew you guys was gonna be ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave the floor to you guys. When you guys ask any questions that you want to ask, with DS. DS, once again, it's an honor to have you on our podcast today.
Thank you.
This is officially Slayplex. Lay and Sylvia Darlene. So have fun.
Yes. It's so
Oh my
fun. Oh my
gosh.
god. What?
Yes.
Thank
Is it gonna
you.
disappear like that?
Yes.
What?
Yes. I knew nothing about this. Let me tell you guys. I knew nothing about this at all.
Oh,
I
I
was
know,
just
Sylvia. Because if you known, you would have like passed out.
Really?
literally,
Yeah,
I
she
would
has
have
been
passed.
binging your content. Like she's been sending me
Oh,
videos. Like,
Yes.
really?
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just can't
What's your
believe
I
this.
favorite episode?
So my favorite episode would have to be the Divas. It's a long episode ago. It's the one that you guys were playing the game that was on the internet where you guys were putting like who was the best
Oh,
diva
right.
at one point, and then
With
ultimately,
Chelsea?
yeah, with Chelsea, yes, ultimately,
Yeah.
Nikki Bella wound up winning. I watched that. That was my favorite one, of course.
Oh,
Also,
best Divas champion ever.
yes, the best Divas champion ever. But overall, I love your interviews. Oh my gosh. I love your interviews with all the superstars. It's just amazing. And then paraphrasing every week of women's wrestling is just
Right.
spot on. I love everything
Oh, thank
about what you're
you.
doing.
Because,
And then the
like,
collaboration with some of
literally,
the divas.
right, right. I love those, yeah. And like literally there's so much wrestling happening every day. I'm like, let's do a thing where like we paraphrase everything. Thank you though. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
That
But
Divas Champion Belt tournament video was rough one because whoever I go with, either AJ or Nikki, that I will be losing subscribers. Like they will be unsubscribing.
that was a tough one, and it was funny because I was texting Lay about the episode too. I was like, Lay, look at this episode. What do you think? Do you think this is right? Because I said I think this is spot on for sure. And when you got towards the end, when it came to AJ Lee and Nikki Bella, I was like, ah,
Yes,
I was like,
yes, she was.
Wait,
I
who
was
would
like,
you go with?
I would actually have to go with AJ Lee on
AJ.
this one. I would have to go with
Uh,
AJ Lee. Seriously,
yeah.
like from the ground up, how she started, and then just the promo skills, and then the controversy with the promo skills against her and Total D.
I
I would
gotta
have to.
say, like growing up, I was an AJ girly too, so I would probably pick AJ like if it was like I don't know, like 10 years ago probably, but then like somewhere between like I like changed and became like a whole Bella army. So I don't know. That was like an evolution of me. I like them both, but yeah.
What
I
made you
think,
do the change?
yeah. What made you do the change?
Cause it's like okay, so it's more like this is where I'm gonna talk about my insecurities and stuff like that. Because it's because I remember like going to wrestling shows like early 2010s and like I felt like a creep. A weirdo. What am I doing here? That song. Because it was like mostly bros, like bro, and then I'm just like sitting quietly until like one diva match happened. I'm like, yeah, and everyone's like, what the hell is going on? So I felt kind of like an outsider. But then I remember after like Total Divas started coming out, and then like people were wearing like Bella Twins merch. There was like I think you can like palpably feel there was a lot more love for women's wrestling. And it was like I could be proudly women's wrestling fan. That change I felt after Total Divas, And I remember being at Evolution, and I was like, "Wow, this is home." And it was
Wow.
filled with like Bella Army, Bella like a lot of Total Divas fan, Bella Twins fans. So I was like, you know what? Like, there's a point. Like, they did something that was big for women's wrestling fans. So you know what? Like after that, I was like, you know what? I see you. I see you, Bella Twins. So that was
They
my
are
little
amazing.
my
Yeah.
little humble homosexual opinion, but
Yes. So okay, I'll go with my first question I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask what made you become a wrestling fan and also be a fan of the women's division?
ooh, good question. I don't know. I mean, I started watching when I was like really young. And
Okay.
you know how like the gay guys are really into like Madonna, Britney Spears, like something about those like kicking ass, like ass kicking women. So I started watching wrestling when I was back in Korea. So like I did not speak English, but like I saw these like ass kicking women, and it was like you don't really see that in Korean TV, to be honest. Like literally ass kicking women. So I was like, you know what, this is really awesome. So I really got into it. I really got into Trish. Like I was mostly into Trish.
Really?
I was a Trish fan. Let's be honest. I hated everyone else. Like, because Trish was going against all the other people. And I was like, you know what, Trish? I'm done. Yeah. So I was mostly Trish fan growing up. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And like, I for some reason really didn't get into men's wrestling. Something about like men being I'm strong, like just wasn't as interesting for me. I thought it was like
Yeah.
more interesting for like women to be like I could be sexy, I could be hot, I could be like strong in the ring. Like that's more like it had more interesting layers for me. But also like you know how like divas they dress up, their makeup, hair, everything. There's like something for gay guys to be obsessed with, you know?
Oh yeah. Total Divas was that era, I swear.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
like
just seeing those women, like you said, being beautiful and powerful, and you said you gravitated to that, which is I one of the reasons why me and Liv are here today because we gravitated towards the same things. And you've interviewed so many different divas.
Right.
Which one surprised you the most when you were interviewing, telling stories? Which one told you a story that just gagged you?
Oh my god. Oh wait. That's such a good question. Wow. Okay, I gotta think about it. Huh. I guess like the question I think Christy Hemi's story gagged me a lot because like that kind of comes to me out of nowhere because a lot of people don't know that she's like still involved with wrestling. Like she is very knowledgeable with wrestling. She was recently with TNA. She has a really good brain when it comes to wrestling. And I think a lot of people just remember her as Playboy cover girl, Diva Search winner, and then she just like left. But she has like huge passion for wrestling, and her story of like leaving WWE and like finding herself again in TNA, I think that was really gaggy. That and then she took a spot of China actually. Like China was supposed to do a storyline in TNA, but Christy Hemme took that role. I think that whole story was interesting. But let's see. But also like who else was really gaggy? I'm trying to think. Like whenever like divas talk about how they got reprimanded backstage for being too good, and like the
Huh?
men were being messy. Yeah, a lot of the women back in the days got like scolded for being too good. Um, like they were told not to fight, not to be too good, basically. And we all like imagine about like oh like backstage like women used to hate each other whatever drama, but a lot of times the drama happened with men like trying to put Divas Division down. I hear so many stories like that from Melina. I hear that from like Victoria, Eve Torres, Beth Phoenix, and that just kind of like blows my mind in so many ways. Yeah.
it's funny that you said that because I think when I was watching Jazz interview that you did with her, she kind of mentioned something about that too, where they didn't like that the women were getting so good between like her rivalry with Trish and Lita and how they were just making some great matches together. And she was just saying that, oh, they really didn't like that. We were being better than the men or wrestling as hard as the men. And she was mentioning about Jackie too as well. And I saw that in the interview that you did with Jacqueline as her mentioning and alluding to something like that too. So it's good. It's funny to hear that you're saying that because I can just imagine like how with the women industry, how they were just kind of like not put over in a fair way, but it just goes to show how much history that they was trying to make throughout the company.
Yeah, and it's kind of wild seeing the history of it because I now interviewed like Wendy Richter, and then I interviewed Alundra Blaze, Medusa, and they talk about how Medusa as a champion got fired. So what she did was to go to WCW, and it was a protest throwing the
In the
title
trash.
in the trash can. So yeah, so seeing that kind of transition, like the history of like how women's wrestling, women's division was treated, it's so interesting for me. Yeah.
Awesome. So I do have to ask this: who, what was your favorite rival? Like, who were your favorite rivals against each
Oh my
other?
god. I thought you were gonna ask me like what was the worst interview, and I was like, I
Oh
have
no!
some, but I can't tell names. I can't say names. Wait, my favorite rivalry?
Yes, your favorite rivalry for sure.
Um, I will have to say, like Mickey James versus Trish Stratus. I think that rivalry is just like another level. The storyline was there, like the whole like psycho lover storyline. Do you love me? You love me now. That was just so perfect, and the way like that entire storyline heading into WrestleMania is just so like such a perfection. But I gotta say, like recently, Tony Storm and Mariah May storyline that gagged me.
I love that.
That gagged me.
It's funny that you mentioned
Yeah.
that because actually Lay had introduced me to the storyline and she sent me over a video to watch, which was 2 hours long. And I sat and watched the video the whole 2 hours. And I was just like, oh my God, this rivalry is like, I felt like I was watching a movie, how good them two were going
Yeah.
at it. And I just was like, this is amazing. This is a really amazing storyline. So it's funny that you brought that up about them two.
Yeah. But you know what though? It's so ridiculous. Like I sometimes I'm like, why do people cry watching wrestling? I cry watching wrestling sometimes because I don't know why, but when like that Bianca Naomi segment happened recently, I was like
Yeah.
tearing up and I was like, why am I crying? It was beautiful. I love that storyline right now.
Yeah, they have been some phenomenal storylines with the women, and like Sylvia said, right now Mariah May and Tony Storm. I'm already a old Hollywood glam type of Betty Davis type girl, so the timeless Tony Storm just resonated with me. And
Yeah.
like how we were talking about the women's division in the past, divas, because basically they used to think that the divas wrestling was the popcorn break. Everybody gets up, they go to the canteen or do whatever it is that they need to do. And I think it was a video Sylvia shared with me where Finley started working with the women backstage, and he actually helped bring the divas era out match wise. And so from
Yeah.
seeing that and that pulling you into where women's wrestling is now, where do you think first, how far do you think women's wrestling has come, and what do you feel as though still needs a little tweaking?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I mean, the women's wrestling has gone so far. Like it's wild. I remember I can't say the name, but I remember like one of the past divas pulling me, and then she was like telling me all these stories about like, you know what? Like we used to get paid like shit. She used to get paid like shit, and like they were only waiting to be like included in one of those video games because unless you get included in those video games, like they get no money.
Oh wow.
But then she didn't, so she was pissed as hell. So she was about to quit. Like she was telling me these stories. So not only they get more screen time, they get more storyline, and then just more respect in general. But also the match quality. They're not that the wrestlers right now is like better. The divas didn't have the opportunity to even show that. So that's a huge choice. Like that's a huge change. They're given the opportunity to like fully showcase that. I did say storyline, but I think some of the storylines need to be a little bit more improved because outside of that Jade Naomi situation, the other Mania storylines, I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? But in light of TNA recently letting Gail Kim go,
Yeah.
that's a big issue. Like I think the pay is coming up. Pay is coming up, so that's one thing that's really good. But still, like in management position, the creative writers, like the decision makers, are still not women. And I think that's something that hopefully we'll get to see more change.
You hit that on the nail. Speaking of Naomi and Jade, the storyline between them, how did you feel about Naomi's heel turn last week?
I love it. You know I
Yes.
love it with that freaking like caution
Yes.
tape. I love it. So good. Like Naomi, I love Naomi. I love Naomi from the NXT days. Like she's so good. And everyone's like Naomi's just perfect baby face. No, like we've seen that Naomi like Slayomi era like years ago. I knew if she does it again, she will slay it, and she did. Like she looks great. She brought the intensity. She's so good.
Yeah,
Yes,
and then we can see. Oh, go ahead, Sue.
Oh no, I was just about to say I agree with you on the caution outfit. That was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I was gonna say we saw in Total Divas with how she interacted with Jimmy. She was not the one to play with anyway.
And then the way she's like, "You ungrateful bitch!" I'm like, "Ooh, yes, you have a point."
Yes, it gave the movie The Roommate, where the girl was moved in with the girl and was trying to be her friend and started getting rid of her boyfriend and cat. No, that's what it gave, and I like that.
Yeah,
And I love that range.
I love it.
So, since you like Naomi's heel turn so much, who is your favorite female heel of all time?
Oh, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus. Like heel Trish Stratus. Like I love my Trish, but like heel Trish Stratus is another level. Yeah. But also I loved like I'm keep saying that, but like Psycho Mickey James was
Yeah.
I think that was
that was a good one.
That was some next level. Yeah.
Yes, that was a good one. Mickey James, when her and Trish had that rivalry going on, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I like this. I'm a big fan of Mickey James too as well. So yeah. But I do want to ask, just to switch gears a little bit, who are some of your favorite in-ring attires? Like, since we were talking about how we love Naomi with the caution outfit, who delivers every time at every PLE or even on every show has like the best? It could be past, current, or future right now.
You know the answer. I think it's Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time.
Yes.
Tiffy time. Whenever like her costume, always. I wonder how much she spends on her outfits because it's wild. She never misses. Like Tiffy time, like never misses. AEW side, I think Mariah May is really good with her attire. So those two like stands out. But I gotta say, this is a thing I have an issue with. Like I like half jokingly say like wrestlers need to go back to shopping at Ross or like adult shops. Cause I'm like, why does everyone have the same looking outfit? Do you guys feel that?
Yeah,
like NXT, everyone has the same.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of their outfits are similarities. I've seen it on a lot of episodes. Like, did she kind of wear that outfit before? I just see that the pattern is repeating. But I do agree with you about Tiffy. Like the diamonds that be on her outfits and her ring attire. I'm like, are they real? Because listen, they be blinking. Like they be blinking. When me and Lay be doing recaps, I was like, dang. I like that. And there was one thing, Lay, you said that you wanted to get her Money in the Bank suitcase.
Yes. I need it. I need it bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it all sold out?
Yes, and I check it. I check that thing faithfully every few days. No lie.
I'll need to like crystal like I'll need to stone it though.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And speaking of do it yourself, I know y'all are talking about Tiffany's ring attire, but I really like Bianca's, and I guess I can appreciate it because I follow her on social and I watch her do her sewing and things, and even up to the last second before she goes out, she's doing observations. I'm like, girl, you're stressing me. You're stressing me, but I love it, and she does bring that different feel to ring attire. So she's another one I would say that's really well.
Yeah. No, I think. Do you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yep.
Okay, so you know how like nowadays like everyone like you can tell that they all have designers and they just like buy tons of or like get designer clothes and then come to the runway, right? Bianca's a very few people, and are there even like drag queen that still make their gear? I don't know, but Bianca's giving that like artistry. She puts her like effort, blood, sweat. Like it's a that's a different level, and you could see also like the way she like all the way from her NXT days to now, like her skill has improved so
Yeah.
much.
Yes,
So it's so cool.
yes,
Yeah,
it definitely improved from NXT to now because NXT is like she was probably
yeah,
just putting something together, but now you look at the PLEs, you look at Monday Night Raw and SmackDown,
right.
I'm like, girl. I
Yeah,
remember
and not
on
only
one,
her.
yeah, I remember on one episode of the podcast, I was talking to Lay and I said, I feel like somebody should sponsor her as far as like with Nike and Skims. Like, I feel like she should
Right.
be like
Seriously.
in a campaign because of how much like, style and grace
Right.
that she has. I said that. I was like, dang, she should get like a Skims endorsement or something or a collaboration.
She should get. She should definitely get Fashion Nova sponsorship at least from how many like Fashion Nova costumes that she used to like make her gear.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah, I
But I
agree.
really think she would kill some athletic wear. I agree with you there.
Definitely.
So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
I'm trying to think. Those are the only two that really stand out when you think about ring gear. I mean, all the ladies look wonderful. They look beautiful. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but just that standout quality.
I mean, I think Charlotte's gear always stands
Yeah,
out.
her robe.
I mean, I also do, yeah. I also do like that she experiments a little bit more than Tiffany. So Tiffany is like consistently good. Charlotte sometimes it's a bit of a miss, but like at least I like I like respect that she experiments a lot.
Yeah. She's amazing. I think she's like top three. Yeah, we mentioned those
Yeah,
two. Like she's definitely on like the top five list for sure.
yeah.
And I probably again would have to add Naomi and then Jade when she came out in the Elimination Chamber. Oh my gosh, she
Oh
looked
yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah, remember we recapped okay, who had the
Oh,
best fit for the big three? And Jade was like on our top tier on how she came out. But
yeah.
yeah, I have to give it to them for sure. Yeah.
Well,
Love it.
ring gear. Since we're talking about women that stand out and look gorgeous, tell me some of your ladies that you see running the show in the near future from NXT.
Ooh, like the standout.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if Roxanne's still there or not, but like Roxanne, she is so like I think she's like mind-blowingly good in the ring. I think she will just succeed anywhere she goes because like she's so good in the ring and such a great storyteller. Like she literally made some of the women look like they can wrestle the house down. Um like I mean, no shade, but like some of the wrestlers that she wrestled that she made them look so good. But Roxanne, Jordan Grace is gonna be amazing because I've been watching her for a very long time from like TNA time, and she's one of the wrestlers. I don't think she has ever had a bad match. So Jordan Grace, I'm really excited to see her do more. Lash and Jakara, hello. They can come to the main roster and right now and fuck it up.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned about Roxanne. I'm so confused too on where like she stands because when she came to Charlotte, North Carolina for Monday Night Raw, she was on television that day, and I was just like, okay,
Right.
so I assumed that she made the main roster, but then now she's back in NXT. I just kind of am curious on
Yeah.
what like the plans is for her next. Like, is she's going to continue
Yeah.
more on NXT, or would she now proceed on to the main roster? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because it's like the whole. I was thinking that they might try to use her for the IC title field, but then it seems like they might be going with Lyra versus Bailey, so she might be involved with that. Unsure, but I would love to see Bailey, Roxanne, and Lyra. That will be a killer match for sure.
I think that would be amazing.
That would be amazing, but I don't know if WWE knows what they're doing with the mid card titles.
Yeah, I just hope to see more with the mid card title because when we found out that they were coming with a mid card title, I was too excited because I feel like the women need more champions, more titles because the men just have all the gold, but it's like come on. And then now that we got the mid card title, I just want to see more story with that. But I could see that happening too. And then I remember watching a
Yeah.
recent interview that you did as far as like with the Jade, Naomi, and Bianca, where Naomi turns heel and then she builds her own stable with adding Jakara and Lash. And that's like really like been the word on the curve, like if that's going to be the next move, because they were also coming on main roster a lot too. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what is next? What is next? But it's like now just everything is just getting turned around and turned around.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I don't know what they're going to do because, like, they also need to figure out the tag team championship storyline, too, right? Like, so Liv and Raquel, they might do, like, a random tag match, too. So we'll see.
Yeah. What you think, Lay? I'm curious to know,
Everything
like,
is up in the air, especially since we're
Right.
on the road to WrestleMania. Who knows?
Seriously.
But I will say, I agree with you with the Lash and Jakara. I love.
like you
I
say, you
love them.
trust Hunter.
No, like literally everything's up in the air when it comes to like WrestleMania weekend because freaking like who knew? I was like so excited like this WrestleMania weekend is gonna be amazing, like Diva Mania, it's gonna be amazing. WWE just announced freaking club parties every night. I'm like, what the hell is this? The hell is this? And then with the Gail Kim news, and I'm like, Gail, like, so we'll see what the hell is going on, but they are trying me.
Yes, a
They
lot
are trying
of bomb
me.
drops happened like today with Saraya leaving AEW too as well, and Gail Kim. This has been a tricky week. So
Oh
far.
yeah, and then the talks about Mariah May coming to the E.
Yeah, she might be. We know that Ring the Bell. She was on Ring the Bell talking about WWE. She's a WWE girly. We know that. So you never know. You never
I
know.
can see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. Or but also she's treated so well in AEW that who knows?
Yeah.
I could definitely see her over in the E when it comes down to it. I could see Soraya coming back in a management position over in the E as well, only because I think her wrestling career has kind of dwindled down. I think she's exhausted or a little bit fatigued when it comes down to it.
Does she look tired?
To me, like her last great match was at Wembley Stadium. That was
Oh,
to me.
I liked her match with Tony Storm. I think it might be the one she lost her title to Tony or something. But there was a Dynamite match with her and Tony Storm, which was actually really good. So I was kind of like, oh wait, I think she still has something in her.
Was it
Everyone's because I
was it that match that
was it?
Tony Storm came into as timeless for the first time ever, or this was deep in?
I think it was before that. I think it was before
Gotcha.
that. But because I tweeted out like I cannot believe how AW like missed out on Mercedes versus Saraya. And then everyone's like, nobody fucking wants that. Like, go to hell. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you guys really didn't want to see Mercedes come in like, I'm going to retire you again, bitch. Like, that would have been so
That would have
good.
been good. I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Absolutely. But definitely appreciate you coming on the podcast, DS. It was an honor to have you. Just like Lay said, we're on the road to WrestleMania, but in my eyes, we're on the road to Diva Mania. We are definitely on the road to Diva Mania.
Yes.
So definitely we want to give you your flowers for making women's wrestling at the forefront like it's supposed to be when it comes down to it. Thank you for being a voice for women's wrestling, and thank you for being one of the greatest analysis that we ever seen that have a big platform. No, I'm dead serious. I'm so serious, man. Like, you do a lot when it comes down to women's wrestling, and these two up here, they extremely appreciate that. I appreciate it as well. So definitely want to give
Thank
you
you.
flowers
Thank
for
you
that.
so much.
No, thank you.
No, I'm really excited about Diva Mania. I'm really excited about Diva Mania because, I just want to say it here. Like, I'm not doing Diva. Like, I do not like throwing parties. I do not like throwing. But like, I'm doing like Diva, and then like throwing a party in Vegas is such like there's so much work going into it. I'm tired. I am stressed. But the reason I'm doing it is because I think it's kind of like a culmination of what Ring the Bell always is trying to be. Because like last 6 years, we kind of created this like women's wrestling community, right? Like I didn't have any friends to watch women's wrestling with, but now I have you guys to like talk wrestling with, which is so cool.
Absolutely.
I think that's like the coolest thing about Ring the Bell. Like you get to like meet all these like women's wrestling fans scattered around the world. So, but then I remember going to WrestleMania, and I was like, there's so many events over the weekend, but like there's no like event for like women's wrestling to just like queen out.
Yeah.
Like, so this is a party like I kind of wanted for myself, and I thought the other women's wrestling fans would enjoy.
Right.
So it's kind of like designed in the way like I know that Ring the Bell fam and then women's wrestling fans would freaking love this event. Like I know. So that's the reason I'm doing this. I hope it's gonna be a good time. Like I try to make it like everything's so freaking expensive in Vegas. So I kind of want to make this like accessible to everyone. Like you know what? Like women's wrestling match just come. So I made it accessible. Thanks to some help with sponsors. Like everything really lined up well until this week. But, yeah, with like the help of Gail Kim, Kelly, Alicia Fox, and with the help of sponsors, like we're making this happen, which is awesome. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be a fun time. We got DJs ready that's gonna like play like diva theme songs all night.
Mhm.
We got drag queens doing WWE themed drag shows. So it's gonna be like just a fun time like that. Any women's wrestling fans would freaking.
I hope you
It's
do
gonna-
another one next year so I can
Yeah.
definitely be able to attend. Because I
Yeah.
remember when I saw that you announced it, I sent it to Lay. I said, listen, we're not missing next year at all. We're going to be at the next one. And
This is
then
one of
Where are you guys based?
Say that again.
Where are you guys based? Where are you guys based?
Charlotte,
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. To be honest,
It's gonna go
We'll see how
well.
this one
It's
goes.
gonna go
I was
well.
about to
I already know.
Fingers
You got
crossed.
Kelly.
Because they're really trying me. I know. They're really trying me, but you know, I really hope this is gonna be a good time. And then if this go well, I think I want to do it more often. Like if this rumor of Evolution 2 is happening for real, like that could be another party opportunity.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you need a venue over in the Carolina base, we're the ones to talk to as well. We throw a lot of events open in Carolina. So if you need any help with doing Diva Mania Part 2 over in the Carolinas, we got you. We definitely got you. We got you.
That's where Lita's from, right?
Is Lita from?
Yeah,
North Carolina?
Lita actually trained in Raleigh, North Carolina. So she did
Yeah.
like a lot of training, but the Hardy Boys are from North Carolina.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Cameron.
the Hardy Boys and Rick is from here. And Charlotte Flair went to high school in Charlotte, North Carolina too.
Yep.
Oh, okay. We might need to have like Charlotte or Lita there if we ever do a
That would
party
be
there, right?
That would be a good one.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, definitely contact her when it comes down to Ric Flair. They will definitely get in contact with Ric Flair. They got Ric Flair on standby, speed dial, anything that you name it. Long story.
Really?
Long story. We'll discuss that another time. Yeah. Long story.
Is it PG story?
Oh
or-
no, this is Space Mountain story. Like I don't even think that's PG.
Just know Rick's a funny guy. Let's just say that.
Rick is a character. He is a
Rick's amazing, but he's funny.
He is a character.
Nice.
But thank you once again, DS Shin, for joining us on our podcast today. Once again, he is the host of the Ring the Bell podcast and the inaugural Diva Mania, which is going to happen year after year after year. We're speaking into existence. Definitely. No, ain't no fingers crossed. It's definitely going to happen.
You got
You
it.
gotta have faith. You got our support. We're definitely going to support you with that. You got special performances by James and Bryce Mansfield and special guests from Gail Kim, Kelly, and Alicia Fox. Make sure y'all be there Friday, April 18th, WrestleMania weekend at Gypsy, Las Vegas. Very important. Sylvia Darlene, Lele, Slayplex, also the 5-Star Podcast. We want to give our flowers to Mr. DS Shin. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. The 5-Star Podcast, and we're out. In DS voice, bye.